Android tutorial, and today my topic of discussion will be passing arguments in Android using Safe Args by navigation library. And today, yeah, so what are arguments? Actually, arguments are actually bundles, okay, which is a kind of a dictionary. Containing a dictionary is our data structure which contains a unique key and a associated value to it. And actually, while passing the arguments, um, are limited to types, because they can store the values such as in the bundle, such as primitive types like chars, int, float, along with various types of arrays, chars, sequence, and that is a string actually, and a few data classes such as array list. Okay, cool. So this is a brief description of arguments. So you have to understand arguments as a bundle, and it's a data structure named as dictionary, which is a key value pair, right? So okay, what is the use case? The use case means how do we implement the this data structure, like I mean this passing the arguments. So how do we implement that? So let's go and do the brief description. Okay, for the moment I want to okay, so actually, I'm passing my demo app will show you how to pass the arguments. Like when you select the answer, you have to pass the answer here and display the correct or incorrect answer here, right? So for in the case of game lost, you show the incorrect answer, and in the case of a game won, you show the correct answer here, right? So this is the way how I pass the arguments in my demo app. So how do we usually pass the arguments? Okay, so let me close this and let me go here. Okay, let me close also the emulator. So if you see in my home navigation, actually I will try to demonstrate you how to pass the arguments, okay, from one fragment to another fragment, okay, whichever fragment it is. So let's go to the home fragment. So okay, I create a bundle, okay, and I now I associate the bundle to the bundle of I create a bundle object. I create a bundle, I put the string of argument type string with the value string, right? And yeah, so this is a simple way of declaration of argument. Then whenever I have to pass the arguments, like in our navigation, when we navigate to our when we click the play button, we navigate to the different activity, that is a play fragment. So I'm passing the arguments to the play fragment. So how do I do that? I create a fragment, is a play fragment obviously, and then fragment dot arguments will be the arguments that I declared here, that is a bundle, right? So yeah, this is a simple way of passing the arguments. Then how do I like get the arguments? I mean, like there is a giving and taking, right? So home fragment is passing me the arguments. Okay, let me go to the navigation. So home fragment is giving me the arguments. So play fragment is taking the arguments. So how do I take it? How do I get the arguments? So we get the arguments from the play fragment. So if you see on the play fragment, I get the arguments easily from here. So okay, is the value is the name. Then how do I get the arguments? Is arguments, okay, get string. And what is the key? The key is a cool constant arguments key string, right? This is the key. So here it's a very easy like way out. We declare the arguments, pass the arguments, and we take the arguments, right? Three steps. Declare the arguments here, pass the arguments, and you take the arguments from the play fragment. Okay, now you can use this value in whichever manner you would like. So this is a classical way of passing arguments in Android, or that we have been using previously, right? But this kind of passing arguments, this kind of methodology of passing the arguments is not always good or not always ideal, in the sense like it will create a different kind of bugs that I would like to like notify you guys. Is like it will create a bug of type, like we have to make sure that the type match, right? The match in the sense like, for example, I need a string, but maybe I'm getting a int, okay, another arguments. So in this case, like, like I have a type mismatch, right? And also like sometimes, like I need a well number arguments get int, okay, cool, constant. Okay, cool. So I have not declared the arguments of this integer, of this key integer, right? If you go and check out here, I have just declared the arguments as a of a arguments key string, not the int. So now if I try to access this value, like for example in the in the play fragment, like here right now I'm trying to access the value of the arguments which I have not declared. So in this case it will create a null, it will give me null. Okay, so also, and if you see, if you are trying to access the arguments, so this kind of bug you can generate this kind of bug, and uh, so another thing is like, for example, if you are getting a string but you are passing an integer, like it will return a default value of 0, so this is also like it's this kind of bug can be generated. So there is no way to guarantee that that what you pass into a fragment A is what recipient ask for on the other end. That means fragment B is asking that. So this kind of bug is created. So to help this situation, Android navigation library, the Jetpack navigation component library, has created a new way of passing argument that is called Safe Args. Okay, so here I will make a demo of how to use Safe Arg very easily, and you will understand the difference. Okay, and I would suggest you to use Safe Arg to avoid different kind of bug while passing arguments. So what is Safe Arg actually? Safe Arg is a Gradle plugin that generates code to help guarantee that the arguments on both sides match, that is passing and giving arguments is matching, right? And passing and taking arguments, I mean passing and taking arguments are matched up. Okay, so actually it's a plugin that is simplifying the argument passing. So how do we use it? So let's try to use it. Okay, I will comment this. Okay, so where is the okay, I will also comment this one because we will not be using that. Passing, and similarly this one also I will comment this because we will be using Safe Arg for argument passing. Okay, cool. So and okay, I also don't need this, but anyhow it's okay. So now the first thing to use it is, I said that Safe Arg is a Gradle plugin, right? So we have to implement this plugin in our Gradle library. So how do we do that? First thing is, if you go to the project, my cool app, you have to include the class path. Okay, and so you have to include the class path which is of this navigation Safe Args Gradle plugin class path. Then the second step that you have to do is, this is of project level. Okay, in the project level you have to include the class path. Then in the module level, that is your app level, you have to apply the plugin here. Okay, with the id that is Android X navigation Safe Arg. So here you apply the plugin. So now everything is cool to go, because this creator plugin is automatically generating you different directions, which is how you can pass the arguments easily. Okay, so now we will do that. Okay, so first thing is I would like to show you one interesting thing. Is like, you see, the idea here is, in my demo app I will try to pass the arguments, that is the correct answer selected or incorrect answer selected will be passed based on where are you landing, which screen you are landing. For example, if you are selecting an incorrect answer, I'm passing this answer arguments to this game lost fragment and displaying the incorrect answer selected. Well, wherever which while if you select a correct answer, then I will pass the correct answer as argument. Okay, and display in the game one fragment. So this is how I will try to do that. And yeah, okay, so first thing is, okay, let's go to our play fragment, because I'm passing the arguments from the play fragment. I will, after adding the Gradle plugin, I will try to first clean up rebuild my project, because actually the plugin is generating automatic direction codes to direct to the navigation. And second thing is, if you see here in our check answer, we navigate to the from play fragment, we navigate to the correct fragment, right? Play game one fragment or game loss fragment, doing a conditional navigation, right? If it is correct answer, you navigate to the game one fragment. If it is an incorrect answer, you navigate to the game loss fragment. But now using the Safe Args, it has already generated our direction code. So play, if you see, it's already automatically generating play fragment directions, right? So this one, and now I will navigate to, and our navigation directions is game one fragment, right? If you see, its play fragment direction has automatically generated these two navigation directions. Okay, action play fragment to game loss fragment, action play fragment to game one fragment. So it's all generated by the plugin, so you don't need to worry anything. And now I would also do the same thing using the direction action play fragment game lost fragment. Okay, so now we are cool to go. But okay, we still have to pass the arguments. How do we pass the arguments? It's very easy. You come to the graph, your navigation graph, then you select the arguments you want to pass in this fragment. So you select this fragment, and you see it's very easy. You pass the arguments by adding the you go to your attributes, add the arguments, pass the name of the arguments, that will be answer, and the type of the argument will be a string. You can also pass the default value, and you simply add it. It's pretty easy, right? So now I want to pass the argument to the game one fragment. Click the game one fragment, check the arguments, attributes, add here, and it will be also answer of type string. And guys, be careful, like we can also pass the default value, and also like be careful, like we can also add more arguments, like it maybe this can be of another arguments of type integer, float, anything. Okay, so you can add as many arguments as you want, that you want to pass. Okay, so for the moment I am just passing only one argument as a demo. Okay, so now, okay, cool, we are good to go. Then the second thing you have to do is rebuild the project, because when you pass the arguments, what will happen is we need now it will get the error. This will give us the error because it need to get the arguments. If you see here in the error, no value passed for our parameter answer, that is the arguments is passed in this way. So I will pass the argument pretty easily. Answer is, yeah, pretty easily. You see, you are passing the arguments here. It's a string, so whichever answer you select, right, which will be passed here. Now if the answer is like whichever answer is selected in the ready button will be get from here, and then we pass the answer here easily. So now if you rebuild the project, everything is gonna work, compile fine, but still you need to we need another step. You see the build is finished. Now still we need the another step, that is we have to access, we have to get the arguments that is passed. This is passing the arguments, but we have to take the arguments and update the values, right? So how do we do that? Let's update the values for game one fragment. So if you see game one fragment, I have to update the values, right? Because if you see, if I run my app in the emulator, we still have not accessed the argument. Like for example, the arguments is being passed. Like for example, if I select in game one fragment the correct answer Rome, I still, my answer is not updated. So now I have to do this updating the value part. Okay, so how do I do that? Easily, pretty easy. On view created, okay, and value args. Okay, pretty easily. Okay, you have to check on as game arguments dot from bundle, that is the argument here. Now pretty easily we can associate the value. This is this answer is of okay, if you game one fragment, okay, if you see this is of a correct answer, the id is a correct answer. So I will update the view for this id, for this text view. Answer dot text will be args dot answer, and we have to do the null check, otherwise you pass, okay, any string like this. Cool. So I guess we are good to go. Let's run the app again. Now this time the correct answer will be passed as argument and be as and will be displayed in the another game one fragment. If you see Rome is the correct answer, right? So now we have successfully passed the arguments easily, pretty easily, in few lines of code. So now I would like to do the same also for the incorrect answer, because if I select the incorrect answer, still I have not passed the arguments here. So in the game lost fragment, we will pretty much do the same thing. It's pretty easily. Okay, where args, that is arguments let game lost arguments, and game lost arguments actually they are automatically generated by the plugin, right? Those classes. So and bundle is it, and actually the id of that text view will be incorrect. Okay, let's check the id. What is the id? Game lost fragment. Okay, I would like to check the, okay, lost answer. Okay, lost answer is the id. Okay, lost answer dot text will be args dot answer, and do the null check, and also provide the default value, in case it is not passed. Cool. So now we are good to go. If you run the app again, we will also see, like if you see whichever answer, wrong answer I choose. If you see game lost, wrong answer is Torino. Wherever, if you choose Florence, wrong answer Florence, right? If you choose Milano, wrong answer, the argument is passed as Milan. Then if you pass the correct answer, you see you pass the argument to the another fragment, that is congratulations, I'm like game one fragment, that is correct answer Rome. So this is a brief demonstration of how you do the safe arguments, right? So guys, just yeah, thank you for following me, and if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe me and support me, and thank you for listening.